Hi, this is Al from Donkey Home. With this video, last week I did a video on Elsie. She'd had a cut on her hoof and I showed you how to soak in iodine. After I looked at it, I realized that she had something more going on. I've mentioned laminitis in a previous video and had mentioned also white line disease. It appears she's got some white line disease starting. You'll know this when you take your hoof pick and you find a chalkiness. You can remove the white line easily. It should be wider than it's supposed to be. When you dig it away, it actually goes into the hoof more than it should. So the chalkiness disappears with the white line and you just have a gap there. By the way, I would say this is a wall hoof pick, W-A-H-L, that makes trimmers and clippers. This is an excellent hoof pick to use because it's pointed, but it's not super pointed, and it's easy to manipulate and use and pry things out. So to focus on what I need to do in response to a beginning of white line disease, I'm looking at 3 products that I consider. And when you use these products, don't just use them. Look at the response of the animal. If the animal's hurt by it, seems to be helped by it, looks like it's comfortable. So the first products, the first 2, any horse owner will recognize. Blue Coat Spray, which is germicidal and fungicidal. Wonder Dust, which is really salts. And this product people might not be aware of, but Vetericyn makes a lot of products. This product is particularly for hoof care, and it also even mentions white line separation, which I'm interested in. Now, I haven't used this before. I'm trying it now to see how it works. And this is a bottle of water, which I'll discuss in a minute. So, Blue Coat, to look at the ingredients, which you always want to because we want to know what exactly it's doing, and we can Google these and find out about the material that's in them, has these products. Sodium propionate, gentian violet, aquaflavor, and alcohol. Now the key thing about this is alcohol. When you use this product on something that's sore, your animal's going to react to it, just like we would if we put alcohol on something that was a cut or a burn. So keep that in mind. It may be something that's useful, but it may also be something that the animal doesn't want at all. The Wonder Dust actually has a variety of things: hydrated lime, copper sulfate, potassium alum, and sulfur. All these products create dryness. One's a salt or 2 are a salt. And that's partly what this is achieving. It's eliminating the moisture that could cause a problem. And also, any bacteria needs water, unless they're spores. Any bacteria needs water. If they don't have water, the bacteria dies. So that's a lot of what this product's doing. The hoof care product, this particularly for white line separation, is electrolyzed dimethyl carbonyl, 99%. So they've dedicated almost 100% of this to one item that they believe will take care of cleaning, protecting, and repairing. So, as we try each of these, now the water I'm going to show you in a second, I'll just tell you what I use it for. I can use the hoof pick to clean off generally, clean manure and mud off of the hoof. But the water I'm going to use in a sensitive area instead of the hoof pick, because it's going to irrigate an area that you may need to reach and otherwise you can't get with a hoof pick. And also, I'll add a little color to it, so as I irrigate, I can see the water coming out and where I'm affecting the area. So, Elsie's sitting here with us, and if you step back a little bit, I'm going to use each of the products on a hoof to show you the reaction of the animal, okay? Could you step back? Okay. So, I'm going to try the Blue Coat first, and what we know about it is has alcohol in it. So generally she's going to have a reaction, okay? Now her right front is actually the one that's been bothering her, but I'm going to use it on these separately so that you can see the situation, okay? See how the white line is recessed now? You have this issue that's developing. Now this is solid, which is a good sign. If this was hollow and you tap this, it would be bad. It would mean that the bacteria is in there ways that it's created a hollowness that's causing an anaerobic reaction of the bacteria, which is bad. Okay, so I've been trying to keep her clean in here on the concrete, so it's not so bad. You can see a little bit of a luminescent blue, and that's actually not the Blue Coat, it's from the other Vetericyn product. But when you spray this, I'm going to spray the whole bottom of the hoof, and that's very protective, seals it, so we're going to see where that goes on healing. So the second product we're going to use is Wonder Dust. And Wonder Dust is generally brought out of the tip here, although these containers really don't work well for dispensing it. And we want a bunch of this. We want to coat the bottom of her hoof. So I'm actually going to take the lid off of this. And if you see her moving around, I don't tie animals up when I'm working on them because they generally become more trusting when you don't have them tied up and they hurt. So we'll look at this right front one. Clean poop off she stepped on with the hoof pick. Now this is pretty solid and really we're not looking much of an issue here. There's a little bit, see right there? If we dig in here, well, there's a little bit more than I thought showing up. So I'm going to clean this out. Try not to hurt her. Now the other hoof I didn't need to irrigate, but this one I'm going to. So I'm going to walk over to get the water and irrigate this area. Stay there, baby. Good girl. Good girl. So I'm going to I'm going to irrigate this area. Let that soak in, loosen up stuff that's in there. Yeah. And when you've got them this tame and they're gentle, she understands 100% what I'm doing. They're just good animals to have around for people that want to enjoy an animal. Okay, so again, not hollow. That sounds good. Now what I do with the Wonder Dust, I actually just take the lid off. These are $10 a container. So don't be frugal. Really make a point, because what you're doing here with this product is drying the hoof out. So if there's a bacteria in there, and we know that all bacteria requires water to live, if we put this salt on it and we rub it in, bacteria is going to have a trouble surviving because this is drying up any moisture that the bacteria would be using for water that it needs. And by keeping her on concrete, of course, you're not allowing the opportunity for new moisture to get in there. Now, if you'll see, she didn't react to either of those. If this first hoof was sore and raw, she would have reacted to the alcohol. Now, the third product we're going to use is the Vetericyn Hoof Care. This is also with a dye. It's more luminescent than the Blue Coat, actually. You take this little tiny tip off, and it's going to flow out of this little tiny tip. So you kind of want to control it, but at the same time, you want it to get any recess that's in the hoof. Good girl. Halsey's a good girl. She's older. She knows what's going on. And when you have a relationship with your donkey, they begin to trust you, know you. They know that everything you're doing for them is for their good. All right. There's not much at all for recession there, but there's a little bit. Shouldn't be that easy to create a recession with the pick. And you don't have to get everything out, really. I mean, it's difficult to unless you file down or really wash the whole thing. But see that whiteness? It's a little looser than it should be. And if this were really bad, when you put your pick in here, the white chalk would be coming out. A chalkiness that you would just dig easily into. So this is how it comes out of here, and you'll see how luminescent it is. See how that's filling it, how it's soaking into the material. See how it's dyeing it? Look how luminescent that is. Now these directions actually say to only apply this as long as it stays blue. Don't worry about applying it again. But in the case of something that was really bad off, I wouldn't wait for that. See how bright it is? That's going to show you where your stuff is at. Now, I didn't irrigate here either beforehand because, thank you, girl. It's not really that bad. So those are just the three choices for you with these products. I thought I'd give you an example of how they're applied and what to look for. If she were having a bad time, any of these she'd be standing on and favoring, but she's really not. So we got it in time, but you always want to look at your animal and see how they respond to sensitivities. So thanks very much for coming to Donkey Home. Please check out my other videos. I have a video I did for preppers, how donkeys could be used to prepare to be bartered or breed if difficulties came up and you needed to sustain yourself without a currency system. Thanks very much, and look forward to seeing you next time.